Stretching the ASM Criteria. In this lesson you're going to discover which ASM criteria you can stretch and by how much. Important. Before watching this lesson, make sure you've been through all the training in Module 1. Make sure you've been through the entire product selection process at least 2 or 3 times. Understanding the basics is critical, or you might find this confusing. And you should only stretch the criteria if you are struggling to find the right products for you. The ASM criteria has been continually adapted over the past 6 years, and it works, plain and simple. And it specifically applies to your first product. Now, existing members do go outside this criteria for subsequent products. So, can you do this for your first product? Yes, you can, but there are some very important guidelines. The ASM criteria has 2 main goals. Firstly, that your first product has enough sales volume, so that when you launch it and you start to rank, that there are enough sales for it to be a profitable product. And second, your first product has low enough competition. This is also crucially important, so that when you do launch your product, it is not too difficult or too expensive to compete. The first is something we do not alter. The second we can by stretching the BSR rule a little. So, if during a competing product search you find just one product that is lower than our recommended ranges, and it is not in the top 100, then you can add this to your list. Do not break the top 100 rule. And you can also allow 10% at the end of each range, if you find products that are just outside the range. Price. We strongly advise sticking to $17 at the low end. But as long as you pay very close attention to your profit margin, when moving through modules 1 and 2, you can drop that price to $15. However, keep a very close eye on the competing products. If there are a lot of products lower than $15, then be very careful. Weight. The £5 rule is really the limit for weight, especially for your first product. But what if you find the perfect product that is heavier? Well, you must be aware of the extra cost and how that affects your profit margin. So use the freight estimating tool in Module 2 in conjunction with the FBA revenue calculator. This will enable you to see the difference extra weight can make to your profit margin. Size. Do not go beyond the Amazon oversized measurements. And as a reminder, that's 18 inches on its longest side, 14 inches on its median side, and 8 inches on its shortest side. They are strict. 1 centimeter over, and it is oversized. And this can be prohibitive in terms of costs. Reviews. Do not change the reviews numbers. If the primary and 2 competing products are all over 1,000, then delete that product. Conclusion. You can go outside the ASM criteria, but you must understand it will be a little harder and potentially more expensive to get to the top spots for your product. However, the launch and marketing training you are going to receive will give you a competitive advantage over other competing products. So we've covered the ASM criteria you can stretch. In the next lesson, we will take a look at the other tools you are going to get access to as you move through the ASM course. But that's it for this lesson. Take care.